Okay. So, over the past little while, there's been a lot happening. And I think quite significant things in the world, like the accidental, in quotation marks, fires happening around the world to different farms, the natural disasters, the shortage of food, supermarket being pretty much empty of shelves, all of this stuff of like natural produce being almost non-existent, made very scarce. And then recently with, for example, the train derailment in Ohio, and the spilling of vinyl chloride and all these toxic chemicals leaching out into the air, leaching out into the land, into the water, killing all the wildlife. All of this, I personally don't believe is coincidence. So I wanted to get your 2 cents on what you think might be at hand, and what you can say about all of that.
Well, the state of the planet is part of what I call the shipwreck. And the shipwreck has been going on for a long while. It's recently got more hectic, not because of the shipwreck itself, but because of the attitudes of people that are driving into the reef, that they refuse to see that that's what's happening. They refuse to see that the shipwreck has been going on a hell of a long time. And they're doing nothing to make it better. What we would like to make the shipwreck a livable reality, make it the best it can be, because, well, it's not good. It's a shipwreck. So, but we can still make it the best it can be. We can make it a thing to derive strength, faith. It's the reliability of where you stand is very important. That if that can be taken away, which it can, like that little part behind the leg, it definitely will take it away. In other words, that leg becomes useless for the foreseeable future. And, like that, you have other points, like on your arm there, on the shoulder blade there. All of these, they make you helpless. And the thing is that you got to learn the real close infighting, because nobody is prepared to have someone inside their space, and to not only that, but to have a point where they got complete weakness. And, hey, there's no way that you can prepare for that.
So what do you think that people can start adopting into their kind of action taking? What do you think people can be doing to...
Well, first of all, people can be paying attention to themselves. Like the thing about the holy glasses, the thing about relearning things, looking at things twice, trying to actually get them so that you can, remember what you originally saw. Yeah? If people can start doing that, it's really a big step forward. Just realizing that you can go further on all fronts. There's no reason whatsoever to be woke, which is like basically complacent and finding good excuses. Which is basically what woke is all about, really.
Yes.
Is saying, well, I know it all, like, I read it in such and such a book, and you look at that book and there's a million fucking little footnotes, Fuck. I don't need that for sure.
So you think that if people were to pay attention more to all
what
these
they can
different
do.
things?
There's no limit to what you can do. All the sounds produced by a human being can be reproduced by any other human being. Finished. There's no argument about that.
I mean, I suppose with the likes of this train derailment, like, why would that train need to be carrying around all these toxic chemicals anyway? Like, what are they gonna use it for?
Well, you see, there's the thing about the whole idea. When you had this industrial revolution, it was actually a revolution, it didn't come to everybody. It came to certain ways. Like, you see that woman I have on there playing sometimes? Well, if you abstract from her, the woman, you'll see there the female reality that makes it possible for the Sahara to be inhabited. If it weren't for that spirit, well, none of that would work, none of that would function. You see, that woman, she's carrying maybe 10 or 20 kilos of silver on her. But beside that, she is also, well, being young, she'll not be as powerful as when she's old. But she's still going to have a lot of power because she owns everything. So who makes the money? Well, whoever owns the money is going to make the most. The others are basically just employees, And the same for that lady. She has all these different husbands that, if she chooses wisely, are going to be very good business people. And so, depending on which husbands she's chosen to be her husband, which is going to be the people that she entrusts with her wealth. But of course, the end beneficiary of that is her, because she owns the means. Yeah. And, well, when you look things in that perspective, you start understanding what ultimately is necessary for the continuation of existence here. Yeah. And, well, hey, if we're being recalled, who knows, maybe the situation here is not going to get better. Hey, it's a completely strange situation for me.
Right.
I had never thought that this was possible. I had never thought about it because it didn't exist. as an option. I mean, the option was here. I mean, that's what I did. I was here. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they said, hey, you know, you better have a good, you better have it well briefed so that we can get a good debrief, you know. And I said, oh, fuck. But what you have to understand is that's an unimagined option. And the thing is that same option exists for everybody. You know, let's say I became aware of it. I mean, otherwise, anyone could have
it. Yes. There's this lady who's I'm not sure the best way to describe her, but she's like she's a wise woman, and she knows a lot about the divine structure and makeup of this realm, and so really she's kind of like an alien in a human form, and she says about what's happening is that the people who are of the old world, because what's happening right now is a transition into a new world. So the people of the old world are gonna live. They're gonna live out their life, and maybe it's kind of similar to what you're talking about, not being able to go home. So they're gonna live out their life in the old world, whereas a lot of people are gonna go into this new world, and it's like it's gonna be like the whole universe, the whole Earth is transitioning, is going into a new state, into a new, like it's shedding its old skin.
Well, you have to remember also that in real terms, this is the sky of the sun. When you go outside, in the earth, there's the sun. And the earth may be a little bit of an occlusion that happens, it's kind of nature. The sun kind of blink a little bit. But when you're out there, you're not going to see the earth. You're only going to see the sun. And well, that's what people don't understand, is that everything is actually happening in the sky of the sun. And the sky of the earth is an illusion. It's just a helium gas. The nuclear temperature of the outside belts is 6,000 degrees Celsius, which is a very, very high temperature. But there's only one or two of these corpuscles in every meter. So of course, they may be at 6,000 degrees, but there's so few of them that, well, you couldn't even get any warmth from them, even though they do radiate 6,000 degrees. But you're not going to be able to get any warmth from them because they're too dispersed. So, and the trick is to make them come together. And the more they can come together, I mean, your frontiers should always be advancing. You're going towards the rare, because the rarer you can get the better you're going to have to accomplish. You have to get everything that is physical, which has weight, which has body, and you're going to make it metaphysical.
And
So
you
it
think
no
that's,
longer has weight, it no longer has body. It's just the pure essence of it.
and you think that's what we're witnessing right now?
That's what we'll be witnessing more and more until the great shock. There's going to be a great shock. And there's going to be something that nobody has imagined is going to happen. Basically, it's going to be the result of foolishness, but that's going to give everyone a hello. And a hello in Arabic is hoodoo, which is, the absolute kind of acing out of the person. There'll be no person available. There'll be nobody except ghosts.
Interesting.
But you see, that can be a momentary thing. It only need be momentary. There's a moment that you were going to die, but you weren't supposed to die, and so you didn't. But there was a moment in which it was uncertain whether it was or wasn't.
Some of the stuff that you speak about, I can feel, but some of the stuff I don't yet understand or yet fully grasp.
Well, you have to ask yourself, why carry a shield on your right arm? Evidently, to be able to walk on the roads of Britain, because only on the roads of Britain are you likely to be attacked from the right. Which is why they drive on the wrong side of the road, by the way. Which I remember they also did in Portuguese East Africa. Also used to drive on the wrong side of the road. And I suspect even in Japan, that seems to be the case. I was looking at these Japanese buses and saying, oh, fuck, they're driving on the wrong side of the road, like in England. I said, oh, fuck, have the English got that far, to change the way the Japanese do things. But no, it seems to be that way. Or maybe that's not Japan, maybe that's, who knows, Taiwan or I don't really know. I don't pay attention that way. The spooking is actually quite a marvelous activity. The best thing to spook is soaps, because the subject matters of soaps is what the order is trying to instill in people. To maintain a soap going, it takes quite a lot of money. Those actors all got to be paid, there's extras, there's scenery, locations, all sorts of things you got to, and all of that we're talking about money. And well, when you think about it, why are they doing it? I mean, what is their objective? Well, their objective is to make all sorts of things seem normal. Someone's walking along the street and all of a sudden falls down, oh, cancer. In fact, it never happened. It doesn't work that way. But they make it seem that that's the way it is. And that when that, then there's this guy that's got a stethoscope, and he's a doctor. Yeah. And fuck, everything goes that way. So that, well, but you see, when we start thinking in terms of ghost and person, you got to understand that ghost and person can never manifest at the same time. But in hoodoo, there is no person available, only ghosts. And that is why, you see, ghosts have always been. They will be forever, because that's what ghost is. Yeah. Ghost ultimate is a very, very powerful entity. Because ghost calls the shots when there's ghost, when it appears in the hoodoo, is it only need be for a moment, but that moment is a decisive moment. You see, at that moment, something was to have happened, but it didn't. It need only be a moment. Because after all, moment is always the same moment. We're talking about the endurance of things, the duration of things, which you could call, if you wanted, time, but time is a measurement of space, like space is a measurement of time. But they're just measurements. You shouldn't get. They by themselves, they have no reality. They don't even deserve very much attention, really. Space and time are references, like lines. But they have no other importance. I mean, they're made to seem important because of the time we went to school, because of the things that our parents do, because the influences our parents suffer from the other parents, and from the schools, and from the government, and from all of these things together. We have to understand that these things are all more or less happenstance. They have no meaning of themselves. And well, that would be the tragedy of what we call living, but in the situation that most people are condemned to, of being afraid to expand, being afraid to go to the next frontier. And ultimately, afraid even to dream, which also you find that a dream can be a dangerous thing, because after all, dream and dromo is not by chance that they sound so alike. A dromo is road, but drum is dream. Yeah. So dream is a road. So if you make the dream, hey, you could retire. The road is made.
There was a quote, it's very similar, probably relating to exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember who it was by, but it goes like, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is not our darkness that most frightens us, it is our light. And like, yeah, you're right. I mean, we're here to expand our souls. Like, we're here to get as much of an experience in order for us to grow. And growth is not comfortable. It's not sometimes it's not desirable, but that is what it takes for us to go to the next level, you know, to transcend.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this like transcendence end goal is like, or like why enlightenment is a good thing. I don't really 100% understand that yet.
The enlightenment is understanding. And well, understanding, not for nothing, is known as the best thing in the world. Understanding is the best thing in the world. Understanding is the best thing in the world.
And why?
Hey, it gives you pleasure to understand. I mean, when you remember the time that you discovered that the street lights of the moon were different, that you had a whole war dance in the bloody carrier, and you were sitting up here and you were and a fact. I mean, you can't forget that. That's there. That happened. That was understanding. Yeah, understanding.
Yeah.
Because from then on, the sea became a completely different thing. Everything became completely different because now you were looking at the moon. Before long, you were looking at satellites. How many satellites?
Do you think that's what we're here for? We're here to understand?
Oh, yeah.
Get a better understanding?
Oh, for sure.
Even with what's happening all around the world now, the doom and the gloom, I mean, we're supposed to...
No, don't worry about that. That's none of our business. Our business is understanding. Because when we get debriefed on what we've understood.
And if we understand
not on
nothing,
anything else. If we understood nothing, well, fuck, we're probably going to get shot. Or worse yet, they'll probably send us back. They'll say, right then, you guys go, you take care of that no man's land down there. Yeah, we've had to abandon it, unfortunately, but you have to go back. And well, hey, what could be worse than that?
I have something interesting to add to that. Since 2020, right, they've talked about the... Let me get the name. The 7 Fires Prophecy? Or the something Fires... I would love to get it.
Oh, but don't worry about it because
it's talking about the different fires. It's a Native American prophecy about these different fires, different eras of the world, and now we are in the 7th. Since 2020, we went into the 7th fire prophecy, and the 7th fire prophecy talks about once the world is basically ruined, the last fish has been fished, the all of this and all of that, once all of that's happened, the last river is dried up, there will come a new creed of people, of different colors, of different races, of different, but with one goal, and that's to revive the earth, or something along these lines anyway.
Well, the thing is that without the giant, you can't do that. So
that's
basically
why-
what you got to do is to get the giant to do what a giant does. Giant does is make world. Yeah.
So this is what's happening. It's the breaking down of the old world and the birth of the new.
Yeah, the birthing is like the delivery of the giant. When this big hoodoo, which is coming very soon, and it's gonna be that hello, you know, that hey, the next move that you do will be the last one of yours or anyone that you know. So be very careful what you do. And the thing is that doesn't happen all the time.
No.
But it does happen sometimes. In everyone's life, at least once it's going to happen. You know, when all of a sudden there was just space in front of you and the things from your pocket were floating out and you're kind of trying to get some semblance of normality, like but then realizing that you're actually flying through the air, you know, and the floor is the roof, and you know, and then realization that, oh fuck, they shot the road away from under the car. Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Well, Dad, we're 30 minutes into this, and I've really enjoyed what we've touched on so far. I think it's some really great intel. Please proceed if there's anything else you wanna get out, or please feel free. We can move into a different topic if you wish, or.
Well, okay, go for another topic if you want. Yeah, why not?
Well, you know, the one thing that inspired us to do this whole podcasting thing was when it came to the talks of blackouts and the grid going down.
But this is going to be happening. Well, hey, look, we've only started 23. Well, we still got within the current disaster. David went from 20 to 30. No problem, or filled it, great. But why did that happen? Where did that increase come from? Why did David charge me more? But then why is the kefir a little bit more expensive? Why is the other a little bit more expensive? Because of the transport. And it's going to get worse and worse. Because this is only 23. You still got 24. You still got 25. You still got 26. Fact.
This is the 2030. The encapsulated within the 2030 agenda. 2030. Or is that? Are you talking about something?
No.
A little bit outside.
I think the hoodoo will come before 2030 for sure.
Right.
It'll happen in the very near future.
Okay.
The big hoodoo. It's like, you know, when the big bird is going to come down, you don't have to see it, nothing. Just the fact that it's coming down, you become aware of it. Yeah. It needn't be coming for you. But just the fact that he's actually hovering. It happens sometimes with falcon. When you're high up, the falcon will come and check you out. You know, and well, I always thought that was a pretty good sign. But it's good to know that they do.
And what if you don't mind, what is some of the solutions that people can adopt? You know, I mean, we talked about battery packs, and well, you know, I mean, I suppose in a way that's kind of like, well, benefiting
Yeah, well,
benefiting off the chaos.
well, yeah.
But
But the
what
thing
can
is,
people-
at the same time, people don't realize exactly what energy is. So, to say, well, the price of energy is going to go up, it doesn't mean anything to most people. It doesn't know that, you know, each wheel turn of the taxi is going to be that much more. That the insurance of whatever on the road taxi is going to be that much more. That the all sorts of things are going to just click. Yeah. And well, that's not an intelligent way to go about, how am I going to say, optimizing your resources. Yeah. Basically what you need to do in a situation like a shipwreck, for instance, is optimize your resources. Yeah. And, well, these ideas like to be able to annihilate some hypothetical enemy with a scattergun, well, that's going to result in all sorts of perception, hyper impression, yeah, which is not going to be a good thing, because, well, like all too much is too much. We don't need that. We're creatures that were bred for too little, not for too much.
Okay.
Too much is bad for us.
Okay.
There's the thing about the trapezoid, for instance. Well, what you need that much of a trapezoid, except maybe to maybe potter. But no, you're going to need it for lifting things. But basically, you don't need that much strength there.
It's a fashion. I mean, it's really like a trend, a fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
No, but the thing is that we talk about medicine, for instance. We also talk about fashion, bias, trend. The idea that we're going to get somewhere, we're going to cure something by killing something, never happened. If you have to kill, you're not going to cure. In other words, cure has to go in the opposite way of killing. In other words, even killing a germ is not really on. If you want to cure, you can't kill. Quite simple. In other words, above all, do no harm. And killing is doing harm.
Speaking of doing harm, let's bring it back a little bit to this. We talked about when the grid goes down, the blackout, battery packs. So battery packs. But you know, I've recently found out some new information about solar panels. And
Yeah.
solar panels apparently are not all that great. You know, I don't know. I found out a little bit of information about EMF coming out of these solar panels.
Well,
You know, but what
if the solar panel is telling you that it'll charge your phone, it probably will. I mean, it's not worth their while to have a solar panel that won't charge a phone if they said it would. In other words, not worth their while, they won't do it. I mean, the whole system depends on believing. If people stop believing, the whole system just collapses.
But you are noticing this greenwashing, green movement, green energy, all this. Well, this solar panel is part of that, no?
Not necessarily, no. The solar that I'm thinking of is the emergency solar that is necessary if you're, for instance, in the desert and you have a solar. Well, hey, ultimately you can even get water from that, for sure. You see, the solar is availability of power. And hey, that is a condition sine qua non. In other words, if you don't have that condition, you've got no condition. You're out of it. You're dead.
So you think for these coming times, when we need electricity and we're only granted like an hour's kind of viewing.
We don't know how bad it's going to get.
Okay. So
because,
you're saying to get some battery packs, to get some solar panels.
The thing is that we have these already, didn't we? So what we got is already what we want.
Yeah,
you could get more, I suppose, but there you could start getting into the counting, and when you're counting, then you're not dreaming. And it's not very good to not dream.
I understand because we are aware and we made these smart moves, but I'm trying to get out to other people, you know. Okay, so these power cuts are coming, these blackouts are coming.
Oh, for sure.
What can people do to prepare for these?
Well, just
events?
understand that that's happening.
Okay.
As long as they say it's not happening, like I remember that every criticism I used to make where you were born, they would say, "Oh, but not in Norway." So I really know that phrase, "not in Norway," because it's any criticism you make to any aspect of life. Oh, but not in Norway. And, well, they have to have that attitude because they're pinching the land of the Lapps. Yeah. They say, no, but the Lapps, where do you live? And trying to get the Lapps to prove where they live. And the Lapps say, hey, we were here before you guys, you know that? And, well, there's a kind of impossible dialogue there, you know?
You know, okay, so these power cuts are going to be happening, God knows for how long. Will it ever resume? Like, will it ever resume, or will this be a constant going on, or it'll be constant until it gets better?
You're not taking into account the hoodoo, because the hoodoo is going to happen.
So, okay.
The reason for the hoodoo may have no conceivable reason for happening, but it happened.
Okay.
So someone was just very stupid on the field, and it happened.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen any moment now, and everyone's going to say, "Oh shit! Oh yeah."
So now I'm trying to think about cryptocurrencies. How does that all play in? Because that's online.
Well, cryptocurrencies, the whole block idea, is fail-proof, ultimately. So even Bitcoin, people can kind of rob you of it, people can cheat you of it, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's an original. It'll maybe lose some value, gain some value, but it's let's say the original cryptocurrency. There's all sorts of other cryptocurrencies that also exist. There's cryptocurrencies that, like Venezuela, Russia, all sorts of different places as accepted and adopted. You know, there's places where you can use cryptocurrency as currency. You know? I mean, there's a whole lot of places where you can do that. So you have to beware of people that are pointing out the dangers of this, that, and the other. Because after all, you look at the dangers when you don't do something. If I just say I'm not going to kind of jet suit down there, I'm going to have all sorts of excuses I can give you. But basically, it's just that I was afraid to go down there.
So, people, get yourself some battery packs and a few solar panels, and so you can charge your battery packs and you can charge your different devices, and you can keep showing up for the people.
Yeah. And don't forget that you've got all sorts of available alternatives that, well, you should use. You know, nobody's got the right to not know how to make a fire. Nobody's got the right to not know how to cook a potato or an egg or rice or make a coffee. You know, I mean, nobody's got that right, really. To be, let's say, the helpless human being smelling of soap. I mean, you don't want that.
I mean, yeah, it goes back to returning to simple, returning to you talked about in this stream about about returning to
well, there was a disease in the 50s called polio, but polio was the first, let's say, autoimmune disease, because people that lived a normal life, that played in the dirt and kind of immunized themselves, never got polio. But the kids that smelled of soap, in other words, kids who were completely protected from any environmental assault, were the ones that got polio. Because polio was basically the first of this new mistake. Situations happen with the problems that we have now, where you're pointing at the bad guy, but that's not the bad guy. The real bad guy, I think, is the guy that's saying that we have to point at that guy. He's the bad guy. Yeah. But hey, all is not lost. You see, because the hoodoo, well, hey, it's going to happen. It's almost inevitable. With the situation as it stands, there's all sorts of lopsidednesses that inevitably they're going to have a consequence. Well, people already think that there's such a thing as a limited atomic war. They've already started it. You know, since, I think, Amsterdam, I think it was 1990. I'm not sure when it was. I was there with your mom and this freighter. loaded with the components for sarin gas crashed into a block of flats where some Palestinians were living. But the thing is that this plane was loaded with 238. All its flaps, its ailerons, all of the small areas all had counterweights of 238. And 238 has a problem that it ignites at that temperature. And fuck, a metal that ignites at a temperature lower than burning paper, I mean, fuck, it's a really dangerous thing, man. That's what 238 is. It's no good for making bombs, but if you use it as shielding for long enough, it'll probably be okay to make bombs out of it. Because that's what they do. They use the 238 as a shield, and it goes charging itself. That's the whole thing of breeder reactors, so that you can have bombs. Bombs is power. But hey, it's a power that you no way can control. So best just not look in that direction. But there you go. And people, they have no experience. And so they don't know how to look at power. You know, I mean, just think, this guy, he's got this atomic rocket. I mean, hey, there's atomic rockets gone missing. There's no doubt of it, you know, all over the place. The possibility of a dirty bomb is it's almost 100% that someone will use it at some point soon. And when that happens, oh fuck. It's gonna be Bagapakapa. Bagapakapa. Say it. Bagapakapa. Bagapap. Bagapapo. Bagaprakapa.
Frega.
In other words, you're gonna catch the pig or the goat or whatever and cut his little balls out.
Okay.
It's the fate of all cattle is you can't have too many males because otherwise they fight. And if they fight, that's bad for your profit. So you cut the little balls out. And then you have Pega pra kapa.
Pega ka.
Pega pra kapa.
Kapa.
And so Pega pra kapa is that real pandemonium when that's happening. Because you got to get all these screaming little animals and take the little balls out. Fuck. The pure pandemonium. But you see, we have to be sensitive to other ways that the human body can be used, like language, for instance. We should be able to, switch to Chinese or who knows, Chinese or English or Greek, just smoothly. Why should one be like, if I'm talking Greek and someone comes and talks French, I can't talk French or Greek. And there's, I don't like coming back from the hospital under that bridge, because that's a place where I get, disoriented. I say, fuck, am I in Hong Kong? I have to wait for a bus to pass to see what language it's written in, because it's very embarrassing. So I don't like going there. And there was one in London. It was happened every time I went there. I I'd have this displacement. Fuck, where am I?
Well, Father, I've really enjoyed conversing with you, and
No, it was probably a good video. That.
yeah, I wanted to check the audio and see how everything's been captured and everything. So
Yeah. We could probably switch it off and then take off the background music and listen to just that.
I might.
I think there's probably some interesting thing going down there, because I could see where you were going, but I said no, I can't actually. I can't actually go there. I got the camera.
Is there anything you wanna add for us to finish this particular?
No, I think that I would like to be able to listen to the whole,
Okay.
Of that,
Right.
because that's really helpful. Like yesterday's experience is put to use today, and today's experience probably put to use next time, because this, let's say, the situation leading up to voodoo is going to be happening whether we're ready for it or not.
Might as well try and bring some people into the field of awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, we're gonna check this audio and check everything.
Also,
okay.
that's good. That's good.
Right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.